Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video this afternoon I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news and that. Obviously, as I do on this channel, I keep you up to date with what players are linked with Manchester United and all of that. So this is your transfer daily show. Like I did say, I would be doing it on a regular basis anywhere and that. But, definitely, Man United do need signings in this January transfer window and that. And I think, Solskjaer is aware of this. And he's actually, urged Ed Woodward to, get signings in to the football club and that. But I don't think, Solskjaer is determined to let many of our players go unless we do make many signings in this January transfer window and that. But there again, it isn't assured that we will make many signings in this January transfer window and that. So another player has come onto the equation that it's in quite a few media outlets. I actually read it in ESPN, and this is stemming from Mark Ogden, and he's reportedly said that Man United are considering a move for Donny van de Beek, who currently plays for Ajax. He is a midfielder. I think he can play as a CDM. He can also play as an attacking mid, and he can also play as a box-to-box midfielder. I think, if I'm right, he's predominantly box-to-box midfielder and that. But there's actually been a lot of midfielders on our agenda, because that's obviously one of the priority areas where Manchester United do need to strengthen up. And obviously, we're looking for an adequate replacement for Ander Herrera, and we do look very exposed in that midfield now anyway. Due to the injuries of Paul Pogba and Scott McTominay and that. So we'll give you some information, regarding Donny van de Beek and that. He's 22 years of age, so he is very, very young and that. Obviously, he's been in Ajax's academy since 2008. He was in their youth academy for several years. He's been in Ajax's senior squad since 2015. I think he made his competitive debut in the Europa League game against Celtic and that. And, he's actually been a revelation for Ajax. I thought he was very, very good last season. He was key to their, good run that they enjoyed in the Champions League, because, they progressed to the Champions League semi-final and that. I think this season so far, he has scored 8 goals in 26 games for Ajax, and I think he's registered around 8 assists. Reportedly, he's valued in the excess of around £50 million. So if we've got any chances of getting him, we've got to pay him around £50 million. Ajax, of course, failed to qualify for the Champions League knockouts. Champions League group stages, sorry. They failed to qualify for that. So due to that, maybe, he will be determined to leave Ajax, to maybe come to the Premier League. So reportedly, he's the latest player on our current agenda. Yes, he is. So reportedly, Man United are in for him and that. But like I said, there's a lot of midfielders on our current agenda and that. And like I said, Ajax have got a very, very good young team. I think they've got one of the best academies in the world. Ajax, of course, have lost quite a few of their imperative players, not too long ago. Don't forget, I think it was last summer, they lost Frankie de Jong to Barcelona. They also lost Matthias de Ligt to Juventus, and of course they were two imperative players. So would you like to see Donny van de Beek, come to Manchester United? And do you think if he came to Man United, he'd be able to replicate, what he has been doing with Ajax? But yeah, £50 million, would you say that's reasonable? Would you say that's too much? But he would fit our perfect category. Because Solskjaer wants to bring players in from age 22 to age 25, and like I said, he's only age 22 and that. So that's the latest news regarding him, and maybe more additional information will update about him. But yeah, an attacking midfielder is one of our priorities, definitely, because we've got to get one in, definitely. I want to also give you some latest news regarding Jadon Sancho. I've obviously been updating you about Jadon Sancho on a regular basis anywhere. Reportedly, Borussia Dortmund are not determined to sell Jadon Sancho in this January transfer window, despite the fact that Borussia Dortmund signed Erling Haaland for just 17 or was it £18 million. That was his actually buyout clause. And obviously, he was actually, our number one priority target, but he actually, decided to go to, Borussia Dortmund, did Erling Haaland, and he's under contract with them until 2024. But maybe Erling Haaland, may not, get, into the team, with Jadon Sancho still being there and that, but they still remain ruthless regarding Jadon Sancho, and there's a number of clubs that have attracted their interest in him. We've been long admirers of him. Chelsea are in for him. I think Liverpool have been in for him. There's obviously, been talks about him possibly, reuniting with Man City, because he was at Man City before he went, to Borussia Dortmund. But the reason he left Man City in the couple of years he was there is because obviously, City couldn't show him first team football and that. So this is the reason why. I think Real Madrid, PSG, and Barcelona have also been in for the player and that. But any team that goes in for him, probably have to pay. They have to pay in the excess of around £100 million for him. So we are aware it's going to cost us a substantial amount. Jadon Sancho is a right winger predominantly, but he can also play centrally, and he's only the age of 19. But I think Jadon Sancho surplus to requirements at Dortmund, because he's been dropped in games this season. I just don't think he feels satisfied at Dortmund and that. Obviously, in the couple of years he's been there, his valuation has persistently grown, reflecting on his impressive performances. He's still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022 and that. So I'm very sceptical, that Man United will get him in. Maybe there's a chance, we could get him this summer, but I can't see him, this is stemming from Dortmund anywhere, leaving in this January transfer window and that. And Borussia Dortmund are aware that they'd generate a substantial amount for his departure and they'd make a huge profit than what they initially paid for him from City. But, I still feel as though that Borussia Dortmund still know how much of an imperative player he is in that. So that's the latest news regarding that. I updated you, didn't I, this morning regarding Artur Vidal. He's another player now on our current agenda. Obviously, he isn't one of our main priority targets. There was reports stemming out this morning. I think it also mentioned it yesterday. It was in the mainstream media that Man United have had negotiations with his representatives, or are set to have negotiations with his representatives over possibly Vidal coming to Manchester United. It also says that Inter Milan have been in for him, and these reports were actually stemming from Chile in that. But I'm very sceptical, that Man United will get Artur Vidal in. Don't get me wrong, Vidal would be a cheap solution. So like I said, he would be a much cheaper solution than, Donny van de Beek. Could be a cheaper solution than Maddison and all that. But I just don't see us getting him. I think, he's rated at around only £17 million, is Vidal. So I'm sceptical that Man United will get him in, and I've got a element of concerns about him coming to Man United anyway. I think you've got to say he's past it now. He's 32 years of age. You've got to say surplus to requirements at Barcelona, because, he's getting dropped in games for Barcelona, but Barcelona have had their overarching view on it, and they're still very adamant that he will not be sold in this January transfer window. Vidal is very, very versatile. He can play in a variety of positions. I think he can actually play anywhere in that midfield. Vidal. Barcelona, I think, got him in 2018. They got him from Bayern Munich, obviously. He signed a 3-year deal when they got him from Bayern Munich. And I think his contract is set to expire in around 18 months, so he's got like a year and a half left on his deal. Before he was at Barcelona, Vidal. He was at Bayern Munich, like I said. Before that, he was at Juventus. Before that, I think he was by Leverkusen, and before that he was at Coca-Cola and that. So yeah, so we've got a few, we've got a few alternatives now, because I think it's very unlikely that we're going to get James Maddison. It's also very unlikely, that we are going to get Christian Eriksen and that. So take that into account. But like I said, overall, anyway, there is lots of players on our current agenda, definitely. But, we've got to get the right calibre players to the football club this year anyway, that can elevate us forward and get us back, to being a competitively level football club and that, because, We really do, but I think it's going to be hard for us, to attract players to the elite level, with how inconsistent we are. Obviously, as well, we're not in a Champions League football, and with the stature of this club, we should be much more commanding a position, than we're in now. Reflecting on the amount of money that's been invested into the football club over the years. I think we spent nearly around £1 billion on recruiting new players into the football club. Not only that, we have got players on big contracts, so take that into account. Last summer we spent nearly £150 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and on Harry Maguire. And I've got to say, they've all enjoyed fantastic starts to their Manchester United careers in that. They've done really well. But this year, like I said, we've got to address the deficiencies in the squad. And like I've said on my recent videos, I think, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. I think, we need to get rid of our board, because our board are a liability. I think we need to get rid of Ed Woodward. We also need to get rid of the Glazers. We need a change of management. Probably need to get rid of the coaching staff and that. But we need to see a variety of changes at the football club, definitely. And you saw a match reaction for the Man United Man City game yesterday. Obviously, we lost by 3 goals to 1 at Old Trafford. So obviously now we've got a 2-goal deficit to overcome in the second leg at the Etihad. I'm very sceptical, that Man United are going to do it. So it's looking like the City have progressed to the final, definitely. And like I said on my recent videos, the Carabao Cup is a priority for us. It's a priority for us, is the Carabao Cup, definitely, because I did say it was our only chances of winning any silverware this season, but it's looking like that's not going to happen now. So I think our ambitions now, will be to, finish in the top 4 and obviously, win the Europa League. That's another route to Champions League football for us. You could maybe say also, the FA Cup is an ambition for us. Solskjaer gave his overarching view on the game yesterday, and he actually said it's the worst. The first half was the worst he's seen since he taken over at Manchester United, and that this is what Solskjaer came out with, and he also questioned the pride of the players in that. But it was an absolutely abysmal performance, and we've enjoyed really a difficult start to the year. We have not yet won in 2020, and we've played 3 games so far in 2020. One in the league, we lost to Arsenal 2-0. Obviously, one in the FA Cup, that obviously, has gone to a replay that ended 0-0. And obviously, the 3-1 defeat to Man City yesterday. And Solskjaer, is aware that, it's a transition period, and he's hopeful that Man United can get through this transition period. But he did actually say, it will be a successful 2020 for Man United. So obviously that's being totally comparison at the moment to what is said in that. But I think we could actually enjoy a worse year this year than what we saw last year, because for the vast majority of last year, it was bad enough in that. But Solskjaer, I think he's had long enough at the football club. He's been here now for around 13 months, so he's been here over the year. He's now into his 2nd year at the football club. I think Solskjaer's been permanent manager for around 10 months nearly in that, But despite our inconsistency, I just don't think the board will sack Solskjaer, because they are determined to back him. Ed Woodward and that is determined to back him. They're willing to give him this window. They're also willing to give him this summer, to see who he can recommend in to the football club and all that. Solskjaer is on a 3-year contract with the football club, worth around £7.5 million a year. And obviously, we are all aware that obviously, we'll have to pay something in compensation if we do sack him and that. Can't really estimate how much we'd have to pay. Probably, not as much as we did do to get rid of Jose Mourinho, but we'd still have to pay something. And we know Solskjaer is a club legend and that, and, but he isn't good enough, to be a manager and that. Like I said on my videos before, whether his managerial tenure at Man United works out or not, we'll never forget, what he has done for the football club. But I've just got element of concerns about him as a manager. There's some other aspects of me that I've got element of concerns about. He's not really got that managerial experience. He's not a top level manager. He's been tactically naive for the vast majority of this season. You know, he doesn't seem to have a plan B. And our brand of football is just absolutely atrocious under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all of that. But my perceptions were different regarding Solskjaer. When he first came in to the football club after the sacking of Jose Mourinho in December 2018. Because when he was the interim manager, he did really, really well in that 3-month period. The results were good, the performances were good. He exceeded expectations and that. And it was looking likely he was going to elevate Man United forward and get us and emulate us to that level, where we do want to be in that. But obviously, since he's got the job permanently, it's been totally a comparison. And Solskjaer is aware that we're not on that level as we should be in. And I think it's going to take us several years, to emulate that level. So obviously at the moment, City is strides ahead of us. Liverpool, of course, are strides ahead of us, definitely. But basically, the performances have just not been good enough in that. And like I said, there's still a lot of deadwood at Manchester United. I'd actually get rid of the vast majority of our players. I would get rid of them because they're not good enough to represent the football club. I would still keep some players, don't get me wrong. I'd keep Rashford because I think he's been in scintillating form this season. I'd keep Anthony Martial because he's done well in the games he's played in. He's just come back from illness. I'd keep the vast majority of the young players as well because I think Mason Greenwood's been a fruition. He's getting better and better and better. I think Solskjaer needs to play him more regularly in the Premier League because he's only started a couple of games from the start in the Premier League as Greenwood. I think he's on 18 goals so far this season. And as Mason Greenwood develops, he will emulate to Rashford and Martial's level. Probably will overtake them, to be fair. I've been very, very impressed with Brandon Williams because Williams did really, really well yesterday. I'd keep him. I'd keep Tuanzebe. Who else would I keep? I'd definitely keep the 3 signings that were recommended in James, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka. I'd keep Fred. I would be determined, to give Fred more time at the football club. I don't think he was bad yesterday against Man City. Fred, when he's played alongside McTominay, he's looked very, very good mainly. When he's played alongside maybe Pereira or Matic, he hasn't looked as good. But actually, yesterday he wasn't too bad with Fred, But, he's only been here since the summer of 2018, so, we should be determined to give him more of a chance in that. But I definitely, think as well we should keep Lindelof. He's another player Man United should keep because I think he's actually done well alongside Maguire in our back line. So the players I would get rid of is definitely Ashley Young. I updated you about Ashley Young as well this morning, didn't I? It's coming out of some media reports. It's come from the BBC. It's also come from Sky in Italy. They're 2 very reliable sources. And they've actually said that Inter Milan are in talks with us to sign Ashley Young. So they're interested in signing him at Inter Milan. Reportedly, they are determined to offer him around an 18-month contract, which is a year and a half. If of course, they can sign him in this January transfer window. But I don't think, I think we are reluctant to offload Young in this January transfer window. So I think he's set to sign for Inter Milan next season instead. That's what it's basically said in that. Solskjaer said, he wants Young to stay at the club. Even though he initially lost his place in the team, I was surprised that Ashley Young didn't play yesterday against Man City in that. But obviously, since Wan-Bissaka's arrival last summer, he's obviously established himself as our first choice right back under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Young's been a long servant here. Young is now into his 9th season at Manchester United. He's enjoyed, of course, 8 years here. I think he's made around 18 appearances this season. He has made around 260 odd appearances in all competitions since his arrival from Aston Villa, and his current contract expires at the end of the season. So if he goes, obviously, at the end of the season, then he will go on a 3. But if we got rid of him this month, we'd obviously not be able to cash in for the player. So I give you the news about it that this morning that I think Jones needs to go because he's one of the problematic players. He's Phil Jones. He's obviously now into his 9th season at the club. He's been here more or less the same amount of time as Ashley Young. But Jones's appearances are limited now anyway in the Premier League because, like I said, Solskjaer's first choice centre backs are Lindelof and Harry Maguire in that. But reflecting back to what I said, about Young and that, Inter Milan could sign him because obviously, Inter Milan did business with us last summer. They got 2 of our players. They got Lukaku for £75 million. Oh well, it was £70 million. Obviously, they got Sanchez on loan. Obviously, I did say that the only way we'd have got rid of Sanchez was putting him out on loan. It's the only way we would have got rid of him, basically. Because obviously, would have found it hard to get rid of him permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages he was on at the club. I still think we're paying him around 300 grand a week, with him, being on loan with Inter Milan, So maybe I think, Ashley Young needs to go either way anywhere. I think Rojo as well, he's another player that needs to be moved on. Rojo is currently injured at the moment. Rojo is injured at the moment. He's out with a muscle injury, but I think he's closer to returning from injury. I was surprised that Rojo didn't leave last summer because a few teams were in for him. Also, don't forget Everton were in for him. But, it says that we wanted around £25 million. Everton, were determined to pay that. I think Rojo's just got under 2 years left in his contract at the football club. Matic, I think, he's another one of the problematic players as well. Obviously now, he plays more now because obviously, we've got Pogba and McTominay injured, but he's still initially lost his place in the team as Matic due to his inconsistency. Some people actually, believe that Matic is a better option than Pereira and that. But I've got element of concerns about both players, and I think we need to move both players on this year. We overpaid for Matic. We paid around, £40 million for him from Chelsea and that. But I've got element of concerns about him. He's too slow, too easily predictable in that midfield and that. And his current contract expires at the end of the season, so it would be beneficial from our perspective if we could cash in for him in this January transfer window. Jesse Lingard, you've got quite a lot of United fans demanding him out of the football club and that. Like I said, Lingard hasn't performed to the standards as we should expect from him. And like I said, reflecting on his status at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out. Don't forget, Solskjaer recently, spoke a lot about Lingard, and he actually, praised Jesse Lingard, and he feels as though that he's getting better. But I thought he was very, very poor against City yesterday. Of course, he was operating in that number 10 role and that. And he's on, 100 grand a week, or is it over 100 grand a week that Jesse Lingard is on. Chong, I think, we need to loan him out. I think we probably need to get rid of a couple of the young players, like I said. Chong's not at that level yet, so I think, we need to loan him out this year. And if we could do that, that would be very, very good indeed. That would be very, very good indeed, if we can currently do that. But like I said, this analysing it this season, we've done really, really well, more or less against elite opposition, but we haven't really replicated that against lower opposition. So that's my element of concern, definitely. That's definitely my element of concern. We're currently sitting 5th in the Premier League. We're still in that top 4 race. Definitely, we are only 5 points behind top 4 and that. But now we've got to go for that top 4, definitely in that. I did confirm at the start of this season that our expectations this season will be to finish in that top 4 and that, so it can put us up a level and that. But I think our aspirations are going to be that top 4 in the next couple of seasons anyway. Because obviously, we're not good enough to win the league. We haven't won the league since 2013. That was in Alex Ferguson's last season. So it's a 7-year drought now, 7-year drought. But we're not going to win the league for several years. I can assure that. But, we've lacked silverware in the last, 6 or 7 years. We've only won around 3 trophies since Ferguson, retired. We didn't win out under the David Moyes era. He endured 10 months at the football club. So he endured the shortest tenure with the club since the Ferguson era. It was Ferguson's fault. The blame stems from him, with him obviously, recommending Moyes in the first place, but it's the only mistake Fergie made. We won the FA Cup under Van Gaal. He lasted just over a year in that. And we won the Europa League and League Cup under the Jose Mourinho era. And Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Man United and that. But I did give the variety of reasons why it didn't work out under Jose Mourinho. I've got to say anyway, I think, Mourinho is done at the top level. He's got a fantastic pedigree behind him and that. He was a top level manager, but I think he's past it now as Jose Mourinho. What we should have done is we should have recommended Jose Mourinho win at an earlier point. And Mourinho has won 25 major honours in his career and that. He has. And I thought he enjoyed a good start to his managerial career with Tottenham in his first, 3 or 4 games. But Tottenham have been in a bad vein of form recently, definitely, and that. But it didn't work out for Mourinho because he had bad disputes with our board, like I said, and bad disputes with the top players. Obviously the board weren't back in the signings that I wanted to recommend in the summer of 2018 and that, But yeah, and Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era and that. And like I said, we're not really known for a sacking football club, despite the fact that we have sacked 3 managers already since the Alex Ferguson era. But I think Solskjaer will still be here this month. I still probably believe he will be here at the end of the season. Because with him being a club legend, obviously, we are softening our stance on him. I think, disregarding him being a club legend and that, I think he would have been sacked by now, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But he's aware that he's been under intense pressure anyway for the vast majority of this season. For the vast majority of this season and that. But for me, Manchester United need to recommend Mauricio Pochettino in. I think he's our primary candidate to replace Solskjaer and that. But we've been long admirers of Mauricio Pochettino anyway. I think he's totally comparison to Solskjaer. I think he's a better manager than Solskjaer. He's a better manager than Solskjaer. His philosophy's good. He can develop young players like he's proven in his 5.5 years with Tottenham. And I thought he did well with Tottenham and that. Obviously, he enjoyed a good short tenure with Southampton before he was at Tottenham. And before at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. So, in total at the moment, Pochettino's managed 3 clubs. Obviously, 2 of them clubs have been Premier League clubs and that. And the beneficial thing is as well that we wouldn't have to pay anything in compensation to recommend Pochettino in because he's currently managerless at the moment. But if he comes in, he will be our 5th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Pochettino's a good manager. My element of concern about him is that he hasn't won out in terms of silverware. But prior to that, very, very good manager. Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4, whilst he was there. In the last couple of years of his tenure, Tottenham actually, became title contenders because Tottenham came close on quite a few occasions, take that into account and that. So we will, see what happens. He's been linked with the Munich job. He's also been linked with the Real Madrid job as Mauricio Pochettino and that. But Solskjaer won't invoke Ferguson's legacy to save him at the football club. Definitely won't. I think Pochettino won't even replicate what Ferguson did. No manager will, because like Solskjaer recently said, Alex Ferguson, had a great influence on the game as a manager in that. He's obviously, he said it was better than Pep Guardiola's, but, Pep Guardiola is still regarded as one of the best managers in the world, definitely in that. And the problem is as well, we've still got injuries. Pogba out for 3 to 4 weeks, McTominay out until February and that. Maguire now, obviously, out with a foot injury. He didn't play in the game against City yesterday in that. I don't know if Maguire, I don't think his injury's too severe, is Harry Maguire's in that. But hopefully, Maguire in that should be back for the game against Norwich. hopefully he will be. I'm not too sure about Baye, Fosu-Mensah and Rojo. They've been back in training for a while, but I think they are now closer to returning, which is very very good news. Yeah. So that's your latest transfer news to update you with, and everything else. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe. As always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very very soon.